Alright YouTube, so you may or may not have heard about this yet or even know what this subject is about, but the Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor fight is officially on. Now, I am not the most knowledgeable on either of these guys or either of these sports, but I'll still give you a brief rundown on each guy. Conor McGregor is the current light heavyweight champion for UFC, but he also has a couple records. He has the fastest title fight victory at 13 seconds. He's also the third multi-divisional champion in UFC history, but he's also the first to hold titles in two separate weight divisions. Now, he is not undefeated in mixed martial arts, but he still has a pretty good record at 21-3. Now, all three of his losses are by submission, so that's kind of a good and a bad thing. He's never been knocked out, at least, but that means he's submitted 3 times. He may not be the best the sport has ever seen, but he's definitely one of the best MMA fighters we've ever seen. 18 of his 21 wins are by knockout, 1's by submission, 2 by decision. But 18 out of 21 of your MMA victories being by knockout is a fantastic fucking ratio, so he has heavy hands. He also happens to be the biggest pay-per-view draw in MMA history, and people like to watch him fight because he's good, but he's also a massive shit talker. He's one of the people that he'll kind of fuck around in the ring a bit if he's getting the better of the opponent, and he's just entertaining as fuck to watch and listen to. He talks a load of fucking shit, and in a lot of ways he has the right to because he's a very, very good fighter. Which is why him and Floyd Mayweather Jr. are such a good matchup in terms of personality, because Floyd Mayweather is a massive shit talker as well. And he has absolutely every right to be cocky. He retired in 2015 at 49-0, undefeated. Now, he is not the only boxer ever to be undefeated. There's plenty of people who actually have more wins before they quit boxing. So he's not necessarily the best boxer ever, but he is in the argument. Though, according to Guinness Book of World Records, he does have the most bouts undefeated by a world champion boxer in a career. Much like Conor McGregor, he is known for his pay-per-view sales, but unlike Conor McGregor, he is one of the most lucrative pay-per-view attractions of all time in any sport. He also holds the record for the highest pay-per-view sales for a boxer ever at $1.3 billion. He's also fought at least 5 different weight classes at 130, 135, 140, 147, and 154 pounds, which is a testament to how good he is, that he can, gain weight and still box just as good. Now, in all honesty, I don't know a whole lot about boxing. I just, a little bit here and there. I don't know how many boxing matches I've ever watched in my life, but I did watch the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, however many years ago that was, because it was just so talked about, so popular at the time. I was like, I gotta watch this damn thing. Plus, there's an undefeated streak on the line because Mayweather is undefeated. So if he loses, I get to, see history being made, whatever you want to call that shit. And I was rooting for Mayweather because everybody was rooting for Pacquiao, and I just had to choose the bad guy. But what we're here to talk about today is the fact that the fight, or the boxing match rather, between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather is actually happening this year, August 26th, in Las Vegas. Now, this is putting it into some rumors, speculation, debate, talk for 2 years now, since July of 2015, when on Conan O'Brien, Floyd Mayweather said that if the opportunity arose, he would actually box Conor McGregor. So I kind of just wanted to talk about this shit, my thoughts, my opinions, what I think is going to happen, all that type of shit. Now, as mentioned previously, this is going to be a boxing match, so technically Conor McGregor's out of his element, and all the favor is in Floyd Mayweather's corner, figuratively and literally. But that doesn't mean that Conor McGregor does not have a chance. Now, hear me out before you hit the dislike, before you rage comment, before you exit the video. Hear me out. Now, I referenced Conor's win-loss record earlier, and he has lost before, but only by submission. Obviously, there are no submissions when it comes to a boxing match. Now, he's never been knocked out, at least professionally, so that's something that's kind of in his favor when it comes to this matchup. At least, the odds, if you look at his record, you'd say Mayweather's probably not going to knock him out. They might just go the distance. Now, if this fight does actually go the distance and it goes to decision, I don't know how many rounds it's going to be, because normally a championship match is 12 rounds. This isn't a championship match, so I don't know how many rounds it's going to be. But if it goes to decision, obviously, it's almost guaranteed that Mayweather's going to win, just because he has far, far more experience than McGregor does at boxing. Previously, we talked about Floyd Mayweather being 49-0, but what I find interesting about this record is that he is only 26 out of 49 with knockouts. only a little over half the time does he knock somebody out. Now, 26 knockouts is nothing to scoff at. He is still a badass fucking boxer, but it's the ratio I'm interested in. Only a little over half the time does he knock somebody out, whereas with Conor's MMA record, he is 18 out of 21 for knockouts. So a majority of the time, he will knock somebody out. So I find that a little bit interesting when it comes to their matchup. Now, something to take note of in this matchup is stamina. Now, there's no way to determine really what either guy's stamina is, but we're going to look at their respective sports. Now, in boxing, generally a round is 3 minutes, and in a championship matchup, it'll be 12 rounds. So we're going to use that as an example. And in UFC, you have 5-minute rounds, and a championship matchup is 5 rounds. So in UFC, a championship matchup will be a total of 25 minutes if you're just talking about the rounds, whereas in boxing, it'll be like, 36 minutes? And 23 of Floyd Mayweather fights have gone to decision. So this guy has massive stamina. He can box, or at least play defense, or whatever you want to call it, for at least 36 goddamn minutes. With a little bit, there's rest between rounds, but that's not the point. Whereas Conor McGregor has only had 2 of his victories go to decision out of all 21 of his victories. So he's not somebody who necessarily goes the distance all the time, because it's usually either he loses or he knocks the fucker out. When it comes to this matchup, so many people are already counting out Conor McGregor. The thing is, he's not entirely out of his element, because when it comes to MMA, I'm sure he's done some sort of boxing. I'm sure he's done some kind of boxing or something most of his life to train. So it's not like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just kind of got to learn the rule sets and the little bit of things that you can and can't do when it comes to boxing, if he doesn't already know that shit. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that he's going to go in there and beat Floyd Mayweather, but I'm always the optimist, and I am rooting for the guy. He has nothing to lose, really, when it comes to this fight, and Floyd Mayweather has everything to lose. And so many people are talking shit about McGregor, but he had the goddamn balls to step into a sport that he does not do professionally and at least goddamn try. And like I said, Floyd Mayweather has everything to lose. He is undefeated. There's the possibility that he could lose his first fight professionally ever to a non-boxer. This could goddamn happen. Because when it comes to combat sports, all it takes is one hit. The right spot, the right time, the right amount of power behind the punch or hit. You could knock somebody out. So it's very possible that Conor McGregor could get a lucky-ass knockout for some goddamn reason. Nobody's been able to do it yet to Floyd Mayweather, but it could happen. He could actually get the knockout, and I think that's really the only way he's going to beat Mayweather, because if they go all however many rounds, I think Mayweather will win by decision, because he's just a better boxer. And one other thing to take note of in this matchup is the fact that Conor McGregor is a whole 12 years younger than Floyd Mayweather. He is 28 years old. Mayweather is 40. Now, age isn't necessarily that big of a factor when it comes to something like this, and as skilled as Mayweather is at this sport, I don't think his age is really going to be that much of a factor. It just kind of depends. He's been in retirement for about 2 years. It kind of depends on how active he's been. Has he been working out? Has he still been boxing? I don't necessarily think he needs to actually box because how good he is, but as long as he's been physically active and shit and doing stuff in his free time in his retirement, I'm sure he'll be okay. So let me know your thoughts below as usual, guys. What do you think about this matchup? Who do you think's going to win? Is the obvious pick of Mayweather? You're going with the underdog, McGregor. This, it's a very different video for the channel, but this is something I'm very interested in. I'm not super into boxing, as I mentioned previously, but this is a can't-miss fight, dude. It's, MMA versus boxing. It's, it's a very interesting thing. Mayweather has so much to lose. McGregor has everything to fucking gain. So it's something you gotta watch, man, even if you're not really into the sport. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts below as usual. If you went on to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter. Links to my social networks are in the description. And in the outro. Later, guys.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake, 'cause I don't fucking care.